You know that dream of owning your own coffee shop? The smell, the vibe, creating that perfect little space, it's really appealing.
Oh, absolutely. It's a common dream.
But let's be honest, making it actually work in today's market, that's tough. The reality can be quite different.
It really can. We saw this statistic suggesting something like over 60% of independent coffee shops close within 5 years.
60%. Wow. That really highlights the stakes, doesn't it?
It does. And that's exactly why we're doing this deep dive today.
Yeah.
This is for you, the listener, trying to unpack what it really takes to navigate coffee shop ownership.
Right. We've looked at a whole bunch of stuff, skills guides, outsourcing tips, financial strategies from places like Indonesia.
Automation ideas, common challenges, why delegation is so important, what owners actually do, partnerships, and even, well, a pretty raw story about owner burnout.
Yeah, a real mix. Practical advice, research, those really personal experiences. So our mission here is basically to give you a solid, but hopefully not overwhelming, picture of the key things for success.
Actionable knowledge, different viewpoints. That's the goal.
Okay, so where do we start? Seems like there's a lot to cover.
Well, I think the foundational skills make the most sense. What do you actually need to have to run one of these places? There's a Skills You Need article that lays out 7 key ones.
Okay, 7 skills. Let's jump in. First up is financial literacy.
Right. And this isn't just, ringing up sales.
No, it's deeper. Understanding startup costs, operational expenses, profit margins, break-even points, knowing how many coffees you need to sell just to keep the lights on.
Exactly. It's the absolute foundation. Without this, you're kind of flying blind.
What's a common mistake here? Do people just not budget enough?
Yeah, that's a big one.
Hmm?
Underestimating startup needs, yeah, but also ongoing costs. Utilities, repairs, spoilage,
Yeah.
things you don't always think about initially.
Yeah.
And that break even. It can fluctuate, right? Seasonality, ingredient costs.
Good point. Okay, next skill. Customer focus.
This feels obvious, but it's more than just being nice.
Right. Understanding what people want, creating that welcoming vibe. It's not just the furniture, is it?
Not at all. It's the feeling. Making people feel seen, valued. Loyalty programs help, sure. Personalized touches.
How else can you build that loyalty beyond the usual stamp card?
Building a real community, I think. Hosting local events, maybe featuring local artists, remembering someone's usual order, small things, but they add up. It makes people feel like they belong there.
I like that. Okay, number 3, operational efficiency.
This is the engine room, keeping things running smoothly, especially when it's busy.
So things like smart inventory management, not running out of oat milk, but also not throwing tons away.
Exactly. And staff scheduling, that's a huge one. Balancing having enough people on hand without, killing your labor costs.
Sounds like a constant juggling act.
It really is. Poor inventory eats profit, bad scheduling leads to stressed staff or wasted money. Maybe using forecasting tools helps here, that just-in-time idea, but carefully.
Right. Still 4 is adaptability.
Oh, cultural. The coffee world changes fast.
Like new trends popping up all the time. Alternative milks were just the start. Now it's different brewing methods, maybe cold brew variation.
Precisely. And economic shifts, too.
Yeah.
You have to be able to roll with the punches, monitor trends, and be ready to pivot if needed. You can't just set it and forget it.
Definitely not.
Mm.
Number 5, marketing savvy.
And this doesn't have to mean a massive budget, right?
Exactly. The article stresses creativity. Using social media well, showing your shop's personality.
Local partnerships, too. Getting involved in the community, building those local ties seems really important.
Yeah, visibility without breaking the bank. Smart.
It's about being authentic online and in your neighborhood. That often beats expensive ads.
Okay, number 6, leadership and team building.
This is huge, especially with staff turnover potentially being high in food service.
Yeah, fostering a positive culture. Clear communication, good feedback, actually investing in training.
Absolutely. Your team is the coffee shop, day in, day out. Happy, well-trained staff means better service, less turnover. Saves money and grief in the long run.
Makes total sense. And the last one, number 7, a genuine passion for coffee.
This isn't just liking coffee, though.
No, it's deeper, right? Knowing about origins, processing, brewing, caring about the details, quality control.
That passion drives everything. Sourcing great beans, perfecting the brew, talking to customers who care about that stuff. It elevates the whole experience.
Okay, so those are the 7 foundations from Skills You Need. Let's zoom in a bit on one you mentioned first, financial management.
Right, let's go back to that. We looked at an article, IRG, focusing on coffee shops in Makassar, Indonesia. It offers some really useful practical insights.
Especially connecting back to that financial literacy point.
Yeah.
What challenges did they find there?
Well, common ones, actually. Difficulty consistently tracking cash flow, dealing with intense local competition. It really highlighted that good financial management, often through proper accounting, is way more than just bookkeeping. It's about understanding your business's health.
Yeah, sometimes accounting seems really daunting, doesn't it? But this article breaks it down, tracking assets, liabilities, cash flow, taxes.
Hmm.
It's presented as a tool for making smart decisions.
Exactly. Not just a chore, but a strategic tool. And they outline key steps. Financial planning, setting goals, short and long term.
Okay,
Then budget implementation, using your money wisely.
right.
And then financial control, monitoring income, expenses, sticking to the plan.
And what's interesting is the research they cited by Safana Reski-Amalia found a direct link between doing this well and higher business turnover.
Yes, that's a powerful point. Good financial habits can actually help you grow sales, not just survive.
So what practical tips did that article offer?
Some really solid ones. First, strictly separate personal and business finances. Seems basic, but crucial.
Definitely.
Record every transaction. Use an app, use a ledger, whatever works, but record it all. Manage expenses. Smartly prioritize needs. Look for efficiencies.
Okay.
Control your cash flow diligently. And importantly, build up reserve funds for those rainy days.
Those tips feel universal, really. Indonesia or anywhere else.
Totally. And they also mentioned the importance of admin tasks for financial control. Things like cash admin, tracking receivables, managing debt, inventory admin, even fixed asset tracking.
Right, knowing what you owe, what's owed to you, what your stuff is worth, it gives you the full picture.
Exactly. All that data helps you make informed decisions and plan for the future. It's about being organized and forward-thinking.
Okay, great. So we've got skills, we've got finances. Let's talk about overcoming the hurdles. What are the common challenges coffee shops run into, and how can they tackle them? We've got some insights from a Nori article here.
Yeah, Nori gets into the practical stuff. One big issue is just handling busy periods. High throughput, they call it.
Right, because each sale is small, you need volume.
Yeah.
So how do you manage the rush?
Well, efficient EPOS systems help speed things up. They mentioned VitaMojo, Lightspeed. And then AI tools like Nori's own can predict staffing and inventory needs. So you're ready for the rush, but not overstocked or overstaffed.
That Pret a Manger example was interesting too, trying to smooth out demand with their subscription.
Yeah, finding ways to manage that flow is key. Technology can really help predict and streamline.
Okay, another challenge. Keeping customers coming back. Retention.
Huge. So many choices out there. Loyalty programs are one-way stamps, points, subscriptions like Pretz.
But it's more than just the program, right?
Yeah, the article stresses using the insights from those programs, understanding preferences, personalizing marketing, make it relevant to that customer.
Tailoring things based on what they actually buy or like.
Exactly. That builds a much stronger connection than a generic offer.
Makes sense. What about costs? Labor costs are always a big one.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Nori talks about demand-based scheduling, using data to staff smarter, more people when it's busy, fewer when it's quiet.
Avoids waste. Keeps service levels up.
Right. And investing in training. They mentioned a stat about how training improves retention. Good staff stick around longer if you invest in them.
That's a long-term saving then. Less hiring, less training new people constantly.
Precisely. It's an investment, not just an expense.
Okay, building brand awareness. How do shops get noticed?
Digital marketing is key now. Social media, customer photos, maybe some targeted paid ads, getting your name and vibe out there online.
So an active online presence is pretty much non-negotiable.
Seems like it. It's where you connect with people these days.
Location is always mentioned. What if your spot isn't perfect?
Yeah. Ideally, you want good foot traffic. But if not, Nori suggests getting creative. Incentives, like their example of a free mini cookie with a coffee.
I'd go for that.
Right. Small things can make people detour. Be proactive if your location isn't a plus move.
Good advice. What about growing, scaling the business?
Technology again. Having systems in place helps standardize things, ensure consistency if you open more locations. They mentioned a franchise, Groliad, using Nori to grow. Tech makes managing multiple sites easier.
So systems are key for scaling.
Definitely. For consistency in quality and service.
And finally, using customer insights, making sense of the data.
Yeah, having easy-use systems, dashboards maybe, that show you what's happening in real time, who's buying what, when. It helps you make smarter decisions.
Data-driven choices, basically.
Exactly. It's not just guessing anymore. You have the info.
The article also briefly notes Weaknesses, thin margins, lots of competition, seasonality affecting business, keeping quality high. Just good reminders of ongoing pressures.
Yeah, knowing the potential weak spots helps you build defenses, be more resilient.
Okay, let's switch gears slightly. Talk about people and partnerships. Delegation seems really important for owners. We saw that in the Pursuit Lending article.
Oh, absolutely critical for growth and for sanity. You hit a point where you just can't do it all yourself effectively.
When is that point? The article mentioned maybe when work-life balance disappears or tasks are just getting done good enough.
Those are good indicators.
Yeah.
Or when you, the owner, become the bottleneck preventing growth because you're spread too thin.
Like that graphic design example they used, the owner had to let go of bookkeeping, sales, marketing to actually grow. So who do you delegate to?
Good question. Could be existing employees. Maybe you hire someone new or you outsource to specialists. It depends on the task, your team skills, and your budget.
So you need to assess what skills you have in-house versus what you might need to bring in.
Exactly. Maybe your barista is great with social media, you can delegate that. But maybe accounting is better outsourced if no one has that skill.
How do you build that team effectively?
Look at existing skills first, like that example of the retired retail manager joining the coffee shop leveraging experience. Consider workloads. Provide really clear training and expectations, and ongoing support and feedback.
It's not just dumping tasks, it's empowering people.
That's the key. Trust, clear communication, investing in their development.
This ties into outsourcing, which the QO by U.S. Chamber of Commerce article covered. What are the big benefits they highlighted?
Several key ones. Cost reduction is often a driver, maybe lower overhead. No benefits or payroll taxes for outsourced tasks. Increased productivity for your core team because they can focus.
Right, focus on making coffee and serving customers.
Exactly. Potentially better customer satisfaction if you're focused on the core business. And accessing specialized talent, accountants, marketers, IT pros that you couldn't afford to hire full-time.
What kind of things typically get outsourced?
Lots of things. Accounting, marketing, customer support, HR, IT, sometimes even shipping or web design, payroll. Basically, tasks where you lack in-house expertise or that aren't core to making and selling coffee.
But there are risks too, right?
Oh yes, the article was clear on that. Lack of direct control over the work, potential communication issues with the provider, concerns about quality sometimes.
So you need to choose your partners carefully.
Very carefully. Vet them thoroughly. And know when not to outsource maybe highly confidential stuff or tasks absolutely critical to your unique brand identity. It needs careful thought.
Okay, what about other kinds of partnerships? The DoorDash for Merchants piece talked about restaurant partnerships.
Yeah, this could be formal co-ownership, but also collaborations. Benefits could be shared costs, complementary skills. Maybe one partner is great at ops, the other at marketing. Maybe even better work-life balance.
But risks too, like splitting profits.
Splitting profits, potential disagreements, finding the right partner is crucial. The fit has to be good.
What should you look for in a partner?
The article mentioned things like your existing relationship or history, how well you collaborate and communicate, what capital they bring, their industry experience, and critically, do their skills complement yours?
A lot to consider. It's like a business marriage.
Pretty much. Needs thorough due diligence. Compatible values and goals are essential.
They give examples too, right? Beyond just co-owners.
Yeah, partnerships with accountants or lawyers. Community partnerships, like the Lawrence's Fish and Shrimp example. Marketing collabs, swapping promos, combo deals like Manny's Deli did, and delivery partnerships, like with DoorDash itself.
So lots of ways to partner up.
Definitely. But the advice was consistent. Vet them properly. Align expectations. Use formal contracts. Make sure your values line up. It has to be a win-win.
Okay. Briefly, automation. The Apparendio article mentioned a few things.
Yeah, simple but effective stuff. Digital menu boards, easy to update specials or prices. Automated feedback tools, making it easy for customers to tell you what they think.
Like Tattle or Ovation, they mentioned.
Right. And automated marketing email or SMS campaigns. Saves time on routine tasks.
Seems like small efficiencies that add up.
Exactly. Streamlining where possible.
Now, this next part feels really important. The human side. Burnout. That Reddit post, I own a coffee shop and I hate it, that was raw.
It really was. A very honest look at the emotional drain. Dealing with employee issues constantly, the sheer stress of it all.
You could feel the weight of it, that struggle between the dream and the daily grind. Feeling trapped, maybe, wanting to stick it out, but knowing it's affecting their well-being.
It's a dilemma many small business owners face, I think. That passion can get buried under the pressure.
Did the Reddit thread offer any light? Any solutions?
There were suggestions, yeah. Maybe toughing it out until the new location opened, then hiring a manager. Possibly cutting back hours even if customers complain. Considering a co-owner to share the load.
And self-care, boundaries.
Absolutely. Prioritizing well-being. Recognizing you can't do it all 24/7 indefinitely. It's just not sustainable.
That post is a powerful cautionary tale about the long hours and the potential for burnout.
Definitely. Passion is vital, but it needs to be balanced with self-preservation and realistic expectations. Otherwise, you risk losing both yourself and the business.
So wrapping things up, let's quickly summarize the owner's main responsibilities based on that Beans and Brews article.
Okay, they listed about 8 key areas. First, business planning and operations, the big picture strategy, market analysis, funding.
The roadmap.
Exactly. Then, staffing and training,
Yep.
hiring, managing, creating that positive environment.
People management.
Menu development and inventory management, what you sell, and managing the stock. Customer service and experience, keeping people happy.
Core stuff.
Marketing and promotions, getting the word out.
Hmm.
Financial management, we covered that. Maintaining quality standards, consistency is key.
Right.
And finally, continuous learning and adaptation. Staying current.
It's a lot of hats to wear.
It really is.
Yeah.
They also briefly noted the difference for franchise owners, less strategy maybe, more following the system, but still managing operations and people.
Got it. So bringing this all together, it's clear that running a successful coffee shop is, well, it's complex.
It really is. It takes that blend of passion, sharp business sense, and real adaptability.
Yeah. And while the challenges are real, that high closure rate, the personal toll we just talked about mastering these areas we've discussed can seriously boost your chances.
Absolutely. It's about being prepared, being strategic, and taking care of yourself along the way.
Yeah.
Building something sustainable.
So here's a final thought for you, our listener, to chew on. Considering everything we've talked about, the finances, the tech, the people, the partnerships, your own well-being, what single area do you think holds the most potential for creating a truly great, lasting coffee shop experience? And importantly, why that one?
That's a great question to reflect on. Where would you focus your energy for the biggest impact? Maybe revisit some of the sources if something sparked your interest.